2024 is a universal 8 year. This is the year of money, CEOs, starting your own business, but it's also instant karma. So watch what you're saying and doing and watch how you're living, because you can instantly reap what you sow this year. And I think that one thing that we have to really embrace in 2024 is a lot of these shifts are happening in air signs. Hello, my name is Eric Taylor. I'm a professional intuitive astrologer and relationship coach. My life before my NDE, it was great. I, was working with my business, developing it, growing it. I was taking care of my mother, who was a survivor of breast and brain cancer and has, had dementia. Married with my beautiful, amazing, talented wife and my 4 sons and 3 at home. And we were dealing with COVID like the world was during the pandemic. Well, in 2021, my life sort of really changed forever. I got COVID for the second time and I got Delta. Previously, I had had a fungus that is in few states in America, in the Western hemisphere of the United States of America, and it's called valley fever. It comes from under the ground in soil. So it had weakened my immune system. As I was there each day, I got sicker and sicker. I never got the monoclonal antibodies. They denied me of that. And they gave me steroids, which sort of reawakened and activated my valley fever. So I guess from September 6th, when I fell into a coma, until October 16th, when I woke up, which was 40 days. During the time when I was in a coma, I never had a moment of darkness. All I remembered was I was tired on the 6th and I was, preparing to put on this mask and go to bed. And then the next thing I knew, it was like, zoom. I just remember seeing my wife, my family in a coma. I even saw my mother. I was, in the hospital. And it seemed like each day or each moment was like mini movies of my life or vignettes. And I was going through spiritual warfare, fighting demons. I really, felt like I was battling Satan. I was tested and challenged. I experienced things like my wife and feeling like the doctors and nurses were trying to. But what was really powerful and amazing while I was in a coma, on the other side, they played on my birthday an audio recording of all my friends and family. And the irony of that is, they played it on my actual birthday, but in a coma, I had the best birthday party ever. It was a black tie affair, and I walked into this huge ballroom, and I saw everybody, friends from grade school, high school, college, both my colleges, professional friends, adult friends, and all walks of life, and everybody was celebrating my birthday. And I was turning 51 years old while I was in a coma. I went through so many experiences and I felt like I was being spiritually tested. I know one time, and while I was in a coma, I actually died 3 times in a coma. And after the first time, I realized that there was nothing to fear and that it was almost like as if I would not or could not die. But I do remember the second time I was shot outside of my garage in my home. And I could actually feel the bullets, the warmth of the bullets go through my chest. And when I awakened, I had an opportunity to go to my house. And when I went to my house, I could go into one room where I could see my son, who was 12 at the time. He's now 14, 5 years ahead in the future. And I didn't want to do that. So then I went to like my living room sofa. And what was wild is that I actually, while I'm in a coma, I actually astro traveled to my home because I saw one of my twin sons. He's extremely spiritual, and he was in like 4K technology. And he came when I was laying on the sofa and I couldn't walk, I couldn't move. It was like I was, like totally in the hospital, just like couldn't move at all. And he gave me a hug, and then he just kind of walked off. And I saw my wife talking to her friend and business associate. They were taking care of some business with her business. And she couldn't hear me or see me. And I was trying to get her attention. But it was wild because my son in real life told, my wife, his mother, that daddy came to the house and he's going to be okay. So while I was seeing him, he was seeing me, but my wife and her friend, they didn't see me at all. And, the whole experience was really traumatic. I mean, I went through just a myriad of different things. I traveled to different places and I was like down in this dungeon and there were these torches and like fire and it was just really dark and bizarre. And I remember sitting like on a bench or a chair and I wasn't tied up, but I couldn't move. But there was like a light underneath me. And so all I could do and think to do to get out of there was just say, God, Jesus, Mom. And then I said my wife's name and my 4 sons. And I kept repeating it, God, Jesus, Mom, my wife, Alana, and my 4 boys. And out of nowhere, it was just like I just like teleported out of there. But it just kept going and going and cycling. And in total, I was in the hospital for 85 days. So between day 40, when I woke up October 16th, I did not return home till November 20th, the Sunday before Thanksgiving in 2021. Well, since awakening and since my NDE, one thing that I started to notice, I've always been spiritual and had good instincts, but my spiritual gifts definitely increased. It was almost like my third eye was just on a whole nother frequency and level. And I could see not just the planets and birth chart placements, it's almost like I could visualize your life as I'm looking at your chart, looking at a planet in the 5th house or the 7th house. It's like I get little glimpses of you in action. And it's made my interpretations that more accurate and I think divinely guided as well. I'll tell you, since all that I've gone through, all that we in the world have gone through the last few years, we are at a time where we're going through a huge shift of the Piscean age, and we're now entering in the age of Aquarius. Pluto is in Capricorn and it will finish up 2 more times. It's going to enter Aquarius on January 21st, 2024. And then it will retrograde 1 more time between September and November 19th. Starting November 19th, 2024, Pluto will be in Aquarius for the next 20 years. This is going to increase the spiritual awakening. We have left the 3D and ascended to the 5D. We are seeing the solar flares increase in record amounts that you could see on NASA's website. Gaia, Mother Earth, the Schumann resonance is vibrating at a whole different frequency. And so what we are dawning on is a time where Pluto Capricorn was from the power at the top down over the people. Pluto Aquarius is a time where it's more power to the people. Now, Pluto does bring up the underbelly, the underworld, transformation, death and rebirth, power, control, abuse, manipulation, sex, all these things. But it's through the lens of innovation, the future, technology, science. But Aquarius is also connected to esoteric knowledge and astrology. even aliens and UFOs. So there is so much to see in the future, even the increase of AI. But Pluto will show us the evils of it as well, right? Will the robots and AI start to do too much and take away jobs from humanity and citizens in every country in the world? Well, it's already starting to happen. Will we start to see the realities of crypto and the dark web and science? Some of those truths will be revealed, and that's what Pluto does. It is your soul psychology, and there will be energies that we must transmute, purge, surrender, and release. And I think through our communications, through our hand-to-hand exchange in our local communities, going to the farmers market, small businesses, right? 2024 is a universal 8 year. This is the year of money, CEOs, starting your own business, but it's also instant karma. So watch what you're saying and doing and watch how you're living, because you can instantly reap what you sow this year. And I think that one thing that we have to really embrace in 2024 is a lot of these shifts are happening in air signs. Well, humanity is going to go through a great shift, and it's going to be a change in consciousness. Now, some people will still choose to hold on to the things that keep them safe and comfortable in the past, right? They like, oh, I want to go back to pre-COVID. There is no going back. And Aquarius is about moving forward. In medical astrology, Aquarius rules your ankles, shins, calves, and your Achilles tendon. That's what moves the human body forward. And so our consciousness is going to elevate as people will spiritually ascend and start to really vibrate on the concept that if I have food and water, then my neighbor should have food and water. We may see free energy. We may see time travel. We may start to see we're not going to have smartphones anymore. We'll have almost like things in our hands, our apps and things on our computer. And I saw this when I was in a coma. They're going to be actually like almost floating off of the computer screen, and you'll tap things. You won't use a mouse. You could be in your home and you could say, call Eric, and then I'll just appear on your screen. We're going to go through great shifts with Uranus and Gemini, Pluto and Aquarius, Neptune and Saturn entering Aries in 2026. The Matrix is real. It's not just a movie. Everything is frequency, vibrations, energy, sound, mathematics. The planets are these light energies that reflect down here on Earth to us. And just like how the moon controls the oceans, the tides, the lunar calendar, our farmer's almanac, a woman's menstrual cycle, it affects our emotions. And as human beings, we start to see patterns, whether it's gematria or just, you see on your cell phone or in your car or your watch, 111 or 1111 or 77, or, you see numbers. And like astrology, numerology is extremely powerful. And you can better understand every aspect of life when you look at these numbers and these planets. This is an ancient wisdom that was in the mystery schools in ancient times, ancient Kemet, Samaria, right? We even have Chinese astrology. Next year is the year of the dragon. And always in dragon years, you see that there's situations with financial systems. During this shift, of course, there will be challenges, because any period of time, there's challenges, right? And you can see it in your individual birth chart, but you could see it for birth charts for countries and nations. Astrology is the map of your life, and you can see everything from a business birth chart to relationship chart, anything. But as we go through these changes, things will be revealed that have to be transmuted out. Unfortunately, you're always going to have people in high places that are greedy or power hungry that don't want humanity to elevate and be at its best, that they want to have all the money, they want to have all the power. I have a feeling that those times are ending soon, though. And yes, the challenges will be scary, but I think if we stay focused in our heart chakra with spiritual discipline, and this means you can't just sit down and watch Netflix on your sofa. You have to be willing to do the spiritual work, whether it's prayer, meditation, toning, yoga, any spiritual practice, guided meditations, deep breath work, aligning your chakras, all of it. We have to be willing to put in the work. I think that global unity is really a daunting task, and it's a challenge because we don't want to be unified in a form where we're being misled, right? By a fake alien invasion or by a one world government or one world religion. We need humanity and unity through love. And I think that's what's going to exist in the 5D. But I also feel that some people will choose to remain in the 3D matrix. And that's where you may still experience all the pain, chaos, famine, war. I think that we have the opportunity at this time, the way that the planet is aligning, the way that all the stars are aligning, the way that the sun is increasing its solar flares, the earth is changing, that we can choose a different timeline and be in a different spiritual realm and existence. And that's exciting to me. So I'm really excited to be on this adventure with all of you. And I hope that your audience and people will reach out to me. You can email me at bigeastrology@gmail.com, right? That's BIGE astrology. And you can also go to my website and book services there. I have astrology courses where I teach. I also have a relationship coaching program, and I help people who want to become professional astrologers themselves. And that's bigeastrology.com. And so I'm so honored and excited to be here with you. And I love this platform and really appreciate the work that you're doing. And I thank you so much. This has been wonderful.